Has the CMF Pro smartwatch line finally become better than a fitness tracker? And is the Watch 2 Pro a truly good wearable to consider buying? Let's inspect. Not a great start considering these pale colors. I'm going to add some other significant drawbacks in my famous list by the end of the video, but now, if we may finally focus on exploring everything about this smartwatch and checking whether we can find some good things as well. Great to meet you, by the way. I'm the Tech Mishka, and here on the channel, as usual, we make some cool tech inspections, and now finally diving deep with everything that matters about the CMF Watch Pro 2. Let's go straight to the health tracking capabilities, and if you hope that it's finally time to explore something good, well, maybe not quite yet. My major reason to say so is the sleep tracking accuracy, because it is nowhere near good, and I kinda doubt that it's going to become much better than that. The main concern is the inability to detect awake times. Occurs to me every now and then, but clearly something that the watch doesn't detect. Meaning that sometimes the statistics around wake-up times or falling asleep might be slightly off. And of course also makes me doubtful about the accuracy of REM and the light and deep sleep measurements. Given the price point of the watch, it is still not too bad, but Mi Band series and Huawei Band series clearly can do better. The Watch 2 Pro also provides measurements of HR, steps, stress, and blood oxygen saturation. To me, the stress testing has always been in the gimmick graph, regardless of the brand. HR tracking here is rather okay. I've been testing alongside a few smart rings, and the watch is still clearly better, but if we compare against a chest-mounted HR tracker, I think we can ask for certain improvements of the accuracy. The sports tracking feature is, on the other hand, pretty good if you're patient enough to wait until the GPS locks signal. Indeed, very irritating, and what I discovered is that it is much quicker about getting signal as soon as you start the workout as opposed to wait beforehand. Feels like a bug with the CMF software, which is probably gonna be fixed soon with an update, because I base all of my findings on the firmware, which is current as of August 2024, just a few weeks after the official launch. Speaking of which, there's, as usual, a lot of buzz around nothing and CMF products. Their marketing team knows how to create hype, and appealing presentation too. Good pack for sure. Of course, we're here for the hardware and the software, so let's keep the unboxing short. There's a pogo pin magnetic cable for charging, and a quick note to remind you that the top ring is removable, just like with Xiaomi S3 series. A side note here, I'm a big fan of what CMF did. Since the bezels are thick, instead of trying to mask it with watch faces, they turned the defect into a nice design effect, which on top acts as a solid protection to the display, which is definitely not prone to scratching. While with other models, such as the Pixel Watch series, every impact counts, here you're rather safe. The CMF Watch Pro 2 arrives with the strap detached, and you have to mount it yourself. Not that nice for people with manicure. I'm afraid to refer to any genders because 2024 standards, you know. Look, this here is a rotating crown. If we turn the watch around, the device reminds me of Xiaomi's wearables from 2 to 3 years ago, given the shape of the sensors. Rather easy to clean though, plus a sturdy feeling case. Apparently this is a serious revamp of last year's model, and CMF rely on good construction, durable yet budget-friendly materials, catchy design and slightly improved hardware. There's a 1.32-inch display, inbuilt GPS, 305 mAh battery good for up to 11 days using per charge, HR and SpO2 tracking sensors, more than 120 tracked workouts, some with auto detection mode, more than 100 signature-free watch faces. The device is IP68 water resistant, there's a microphone and speaker inbuilt, decent smartphone app, and the watch can work with both iOS and Android. Looks like all the specs sound good at the first sight, and among all the ads that CMF offer in regards to the Bluetooth-relayed phone calls, the GPS implementation, and also the rotating crown, which I have to admit works miracles with smartwatches these days in 2024, and maybe this buddy here has spectacular battery life. I think that the promise for up to 11 days per charge is very realistic. In fact, with some optimizations, you can go beyond that. Gonna tell you about the worst case scenario, always on display with all the tracking functions on and occasional sports tracking, and the watch is going to last about 5 to 6 days per charge. If you want to reach the maximums, reduce the tracked data, disable always on, keep the display on times shorter, and that's how you're gonna end up with close to 2 weeks per cycle. Personally, I feel that the biggest contributor to the good battery life is the display, because it is not as bright as what some other watches deliver. According to some online sources, the maximum is about 620 nits. It feels considerably less as compared to the likes of Huawei Watch 3, for instance. It uses AMOLED technology, has excellent resolution and pixel density, 60 Hz refresh rate, anti-scratch coating, and the big deal here are the awesome watch faces. I can't think of another brand that gives you that many and that brand style-oriented watch faces. It's one more reason to seriously consider buying the CMF Watch Pro 2. Actually, wait a minute, let me give you more. Good and fluid operating system. It's quite basic though, a reworked version of RTOS, meaning that it is very lightweight, lacks the ability to offer installation of new apps, but pays off with good health tracking integrations and the already mentioned fantastic battery life. It's true, there still might be some areas which could be somewhat refined, but I love how smoothly the scrolling of apps feels. This includes the haptic feedback of the crown for even greater control. The amount of apps is just about right, section with the workouts. As stated, we have a lot of them, and while practicing and tracking your favorite sports, you can also control the music playback on your phone. You can read the summary about each and every workout that has completed in a separate app, explore more about your daily health achievements, and this even works from the main cards, most of which are actionable. It's worth mentioning that there also are some productivity-enhancing apps, such as the usual timers and stopwatch features, but also CMF give you calculator and calendar apps, plus certain settings that you can fine-tune. Even the always-on mode has its settings and everything feels about right. If you swipe down from the home screen, there are the quick toggles. Swipe up and you can read the notifications. A big bonus, to some of them, you can respond with predefined answers.
This is a test with the speaker of the CMF Watch Pro 2. Audio quality is rather good.
Both CMF and Nothing have proven over time that they can create very minimalist, yet super functional and capable software pieces, and the smartphone app for the Watch Pro 2 is no exception to this rule. I can easily claim that this is my favorite wearable smartphone app, and finally there's the integration with the famous sports service Strava. Just navigate to your profile settings, choose Sync with third-party services, and make sure to link it to your account in Strava. Then you may go back to the home card and take a look at the collected data, which is provided in a very easy-to-understand way. Awesome design, once again, and here we have everything that is really important. True, little tweaks, a bit more detailed workout analysis including pace and elevation gain are still missing, but I feel that they are going to arrive sooner rather than later. Because we can see that CMF's team is focusing a lot on software, despite the modest price of the watch, because indeed it is hard to believe that you get that much within the price that Watch Pro Generation 1 was launched at. With all of these improvements, keeping a price tag as low as $69 is pretty neat, and since the watch is available globally, I think it belongs to the best value deals of the year. Doesn't come without its drawbacks though. I'd note down the not that accurate sleep and HR tracking, the few little imperfections around the watch OS, the long GPS signal lock times, and the lack of inbuilt function for storing music or photos, and I mention it only because the watch is called Pro, not because of the price tag. Unlike the smartphone, and I do mention it because they have been released together, I'm still not that convinced in the qualities of Watch Pro 2, because yeah, it looks quite nice, does part of the job, but if we put aside the lack of smart functions, I was expecting really precise health tracking here, and you can see that this analysis that we have performed in the last few minutes raises a lot of questions. Still, if you like a lot the CMF design, the colors, the fonts, and the overall feeling, and you want to pair your smartphone with something that looks very much like the CMF signature, that's a very good choice. Personally, I'm not really convinced that this guy has pro kind of features, but in the end of the day, we have to be fair and admit that this is a very good fitness tracker with GPS implementation and quite a fancy design of the operating system, which costs only $69, so maybe you can't go wrong with it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below the video. That's been everything I wanted to share with you in regards to the CMF Watch 2 Pro. If you want to buy it, check the video description area. If you want to support me, become a subscriber, hit the like button of the video, and come back for more in just a few days' time. I'm the Tech Mishka. Wish you a fantastic day. Bye!